All right, this should work. Hello, everybody. This is Leontes here with Sterling Games doing the it's Vortex time, casting the International Yomi League 5 Yomi Bowl, and joining me here is Matt King.
Howdy.
So he's actually behind me. I can turn the camera. You can probably see him from the. There we go. Yeah, get that hand going. There he is. All right, cool. We got a full-on studio setup here. This is perfect. All right. So this is the end. This is the final match of International Yomi League 5. Yeah, let's make sure the stream's actually up. It looks like it is. I can't tell the sound. Somebody let me know how the sound is. CPAT, I see you in there. Let me know if it's good, you know. And yeah, you guys are ready to roll. So we got IYL5 here. It's going to be mysticjuicer, who's actually undefeated the entire season. He I forget which division he came out of, but he was 12-0 in the division. Have MK say something? Says CPAT? Something. There we go. Versus, you know, the one, the only sharpobject, one of the most successful players of Gloria. But we get a Troc attempting to take down a Gloria player and then getting counterpicked by Geiger, which is a character that I do see Sharpo playing quite often.
Yeah, I've seen him play Geiger, and I've seen him play Zane in addition to Gloria. I was hoping to see Onimaru versus Gloria. I was talking about how that would be a pretty sick matchup, but I'm alright seeing this one. This is a pretty classic matchup. A lot of exploration has gone into it. I think the matchup's definitely a lot more even than people have given it credit for in the past.
Right. Yeah, MK's gonna have an echo because I need to figure out why push to talk isn't working on my on my OBS, because like you can hear him behind me and in my own mic, so it's like that's what's happening. So let me try to fix that, but I'll lower my sound and he can talk while I try to fix this. That'll work.
Okay, so right now all Juice is trying to do is get his stacks for giant growth up, although a little difficult with time spirals, but honestly blocking a time spiral isn't the worst thing in the world. That's why you notice that sharpobject started the game with a throw. I feel like even if he had a spiral in hand, I'm not sure if he does, throwing is going to be more efficient at stopping Troc from building than using time spirals. You don't want, as Geiger, you don't want to go down on hand size and then let Troc bully you with throws while you're trying to fight back and get a hand again. Once he gets access to his giant growth stacks, he can start trying to build up threatening Dodge Beast Unleashed, using Eagle Totem to ward off time spirals or other aggressive plays from Geiger. Obviously has his really good normal throw game if Geiger's trying to build. So not too bad for Troc. Geiger's trying to do the stuff Geiger wants to do. He wants to keep Troc oppressed. He wants to have a hand, play a 4, get his time spirals back, and do a ton of unjokerable damage.
Yeah, so it seems like Geiger's typical game plan of I'm going to oppress a grappler by being faster than them generally, trying to shut down their blocking game plan. It's like a thing that Geiger got in V2. That wasn't in V1, but they can't activate innate abilities from blocking, and you may throw them. That kind of keys into how it makes it hard for Troc to build up that giant growth stack. Just like you know, the Midori matchup, or knowing the opponent for Grave, like time spirals do oppress his character card, so it can be tough to get to that. But you know, to keep Troc out, you know, Geiger's gonna have to play Kings. He's gonna have to play normal pokes just to kind of stuff out the throw game. So, I mean, he benefits from playing those. He's Geiger. There's a big one going for the trying to hit a, maybe not necessarily a king, maybe not a king read, but just trying to get some card advantage, take out a throw. Possibly not really a big hit confirm off that. He's already got 2 kings in the bin, so best thing you could probably do is like a, you know, TSH or something, but just trying to get cards. That's what Geiger likes.
See, I'm not sure about how often mysticjuicer plays normal attacks as Troc, so I feel like that's also a check to see if he'll try to 4 attack to poke out 5s. Instantly dodges, so do you think we have a Beast Unleashed this early, is the question.
Yep,
yes, we do. Wow. Well, that's half.
I've beaten people with Troc by just landing 2 of those. That is a way that he can win the game. Because the threat is just so real. Like you can't diffuse it. You know, it's they're in his hand until he plays Eagle Totem a bunch, but even then he's just gonna power back up.
I'm a big fan of using the mix-up immediately. What a lot of Troc players will do is they'll try to wear you down with throws and bigger damage, and then get you to 45. But at that point, you've probably drawn one of your jokers, and you have a lot less of threat of Beast Unleash. Using it immediately when Geiger's unlikely to have drawn one of his jokers is pretty strong.
Yeah, and you're still pretty efficient. Like, he's got 10 card hand. He got his cards back from what were the blocks that he returned? He grabbed a 6 and a 7, so he's got the post throw attack fuel, and he had an 8, so he's got a 6 and 7 still. So he's got plenty of blocks. He's got follow up throw damage. He's only got to do 30 more, and Trot can find that.
Dead.
Yeah, Trot can find that pretty easily. He's just one of those characters, right?
Meanwhile, he's willing to take some Time Spirals to the chin. It's not a huge deal. It's 8 damage. He still has a pretty decent chunk of life left. Geiger's hand still probably isn't anywhere near he wants to be. Notice that 2 kings are down. A couple jacks are down. He might have drawn those relatively recently since he wasn't using them early. Temporal Distortion is probably a recur jack Temporal Distortion. I don't know if he's going to try to be too aggressive with it. Even if he does land a hit, it won't hurt for that much.
He may have some aces at this point, and that's one great thing about TD is it lets you actually convert your aces off of a throw. Trock is standing. He only has 1 dodge in the bin, so like dodge is kind of in the range, you know. But like you said, I don't know if he can really do 57 off the hand that he's got. He could. It would be impressive.
It would rely on like a very specific combat win, so we'll have to see if that happens. I think throw is pretty real for Trock right now. Yeah.
There it is. Just trying to bait out the reversals. You know, that's a thing that Geiger loves to do. If he's not quite ready to kill you yet, he can say, well, if I play a J, you might die, so you should reversal me, right? And that allows Geiger to block up and just kind of do what a grappler does. Like, you block enough to remove the good attack options from the opponent's hand so that you can oppress them with slower ones.
Dodge King is a pretty live mix-up for Trock right now, assuming that Sharpo doesn't have jokers. Both of his jacks have returned. Immediate War Stomp.
Yeah, let's see what we pull out. Yeah, it's not doing too much here.
Tells me at least one more dodge is left in his hand to threaten the mix-up, or he probably wouldn't have played it right here.
Yep, goes for a queen. So not what you would have liked to see. You would have liked to see a defensive option or a throw.
Right, I want to see an attempt at lethal. Even if he has the Joker, right, you can still dodge and then normal throw or something if you're scared that you'll expend something valuable, and then you'll still knock off the TD. I generally don't like reversal at the Temporal Distortion this early. It just gives Geiger too much leeway to do what he wants. That being said, the second one works, but I'm usually not a huge fan of using reversals against a TD'd up Geiger.
Right, you'd rather just like dodge and get it clean. Because you run the risk of just running into Cycloid. Like, it's brutal.
Or like he dodges into 21 on Joker Bowl if he has the Time Spiral Hurricane. So it's
yeah.
The reward's generally not in your favor if you reversal at Geiger, especially if you think he might have kings left. He just has too much option coverage against it.
Indeed.
And his reward for hitting your reversal or beating it, okay, that's game 1.
Yep.
A very solid play from Juicer. Just the initial 45 did a lot of work. And then while Sharpo is trying to figure out a range adjustment once he got the blocks back, he just took a lot of damage. By the time he got his temporals up, he was too low to really make too much of a threat.
Yeah, it's like taking a page kind of out of the Mercy school of get a huge life lead and it's going to influence your opponent's plays a lot. It's a real thing in fighting games too.
So to see if there's a range adjustment from Sharpo. Yeah, instant Time Spiral. So I'm not sure if it's that he didn't have the Time Spirals early, or if he was trying to more efficiently beat things by just going for the normal throw early. I'm in the school of thought where Jays are just really good. At the same time as the opponent, you shouldn't be too worried about losing to them.
Yeah, that's the thing. That's like a hurdle that I had to climb a lot, or climb over. Is that I'm okay with blocking them. It's okay. I have to block. I have to block all the other important things that Geiger's going to do to me. So it's okay for him to spend 2 cards and deal 10 to me. I got a lot of health.
Expecting flash kick or throw.
Oh, just throws, and he's just punching him out, kicking that one out.
So JJ King is a page out of the secret Geiger handbook that gets emailed to you when you start playing the character in tournaments, where you have to make them think, well, he's going to normal throw if he runs out of jacks. Yeah, very throw-heavy range from Juicer. He's adjusted his range kind of in a weird direction. Sharpo definitely went way more attack-heavy. whereas before he was going pretty throw block. So Juicer adjusted his range to be more throw heavy. And finally mashed the reversal out to just beat all these attacks. Sharpo will attack a lot. That's Sharpo's default mode of operation. But he sort of strayed from it in game 1, which might be part of why he lost.
Yeah. I mean, it's a grappler, right? You gotta hit him. I mean, Juicer's only down 30 health. He has a lot of face cards in the bin, though. He's got 2 kings, which are good. A couple 5s are gone. So 5/5 JJK and Sharpo's discard pile gets to check through 2 cards and draw 1.
Yeah, JJK, as I said, it's like the secret technique. You kind of make them think, well, he's going to throw if he's out of time spiral, so I'm going to do an attack at all. And then you get kinged and you feel really bad.
Yes. Okay.
Slow J. Probably not expecting too much in the way of fast spirals. But now this is where Geiger's good times start, because he has a pretty decent hand lead over Troc, has a life lead over Troc, and now he's played an 8, stacked a little bit, only left the top 2 cards, but he's got to see a little bit. Didn't power up, so he liked what he drew, obviously. And so now Juicer has to go for things like this slow J to try to convert some of these really bad hands, bad cards in his hand, into significant damage, so that Sharpo doesn't get free reign to sort of do what he wants. And it's an attempt to make the rest of his hand more live in the future. Yeah, 2 slow J's. I'm not sure what that says about the quality of his hand. Slow J is a pretty interesting play, especially since he's burned 2 queens already. Yeah.
Jeez, face cards.
Sorry, he's burned 1 queen. I misread the discard. But I think 2 slow J's is a sign that he probably has an uppercut or something else if he's trying to beat aggression. But slow J is like an invitation, right? It says, hey, play this attack that I can't outspeed because I'm playing slow J. Why would I play this move?
Please don't throw me. I'm so terrified.
All right, power up for Sharpo. 1 ace implies there's another ace in the hand somewhere.
Okay, finds time to get a throw in.
Yeah, it's finding those weird throw windows against Geiger that helps a lot. Like, you want to block a decent amount against Geiger to try to force him to burn cards in his hand to stop you from blocking, but you still have to find your throw window. All right, so that's aces 2 and 3 or 3 and 4. So the first ace might have just been a message that he has a second ace to incite a block combat pretty safely.
I think he has 1, so I think it's 4 now.
You think it's 4? Okay.
Yeah, I think it's 4 now. And TD comes out so he can threaten. So now, like, he may possibly have lethal in hand.
2 J's, 2 queens are gone. 6 card hand means Eagle Totem's not a likely play from Troc right now.
Right. So he's threatening like a J and ace mix up here. And Gold Burst is one way to get out of that. Try to get the reset with the flash gear, trying to beat maybe an AA.
Yes, now he has the AA, but AA still could lose to Cycloid, and a fully pumped Cycloid puts Troc down to 24. So, scary mix-up still. 8-card hand from Sharpo, 8-card hand from Troc, so...
No worse stomp here.
Juicer still wants to be able to block, because Sharpo is within lethal range of Beast Unleashed, so Sharpo has to know that.
He can't do Beast Unleashed. He's got a long time to get there, and I don't think that anything that he blocks in the next couple combats is going to be anything he can not get time stopped on.
Mm-hmm. At the same time, it's still something to think about, right? Like,
yeah.
He has the opportunity to block for Beast Unleashed.
He does.
Now it looks like what he's trying to do is try to sneak in an Eagle Totem at some point after getting Geiger below 20.
Right, maybe try to dodge into 1, so here would have been an opportunity to do that. So now we got possibly still a Joker in Sharpo's hand, but I can't tell if this means that Juicer just wants cards, that he doesn't have dodges, or that he's actually playing for that, like you said.
It's interesting, right? Like, I think that dodge is just a weak combat option there. I think if you're going to take a spiral when Geiger's not in TD, that's totally okay. As I say that, he dodges.
Yeah.
Yeah, face down. I think that's real.
Normal throw. Just
wow, it's not.
Just do 9. You put him at 19. Now you still have, like, you know, dodge into totem. You still have mix up normal into totem. Like, you have some options here.
least 3 of the cards in Sharpo's hand are aces. Probably all 4 of them are. So it could be 4 aces plus top deck, or 3 aces plus 2 mysteries.
So safe play here from Juicer is obviously just to dodge. If he has one, it's like, okay, layer 0, let's just dodge. Let's see if he reversals up. You know, and then he gets thrown. But what's the threat here? You know, it's just...
It's take a throw. Like,
yeah.
Whatever.
That's right. I mean, you can be greedy and take 40 and then put Geiger at 1 card. That's the other option, right? But I guess his greedy play would be to beat the throw. Yep, totem.
Yep.
That's game 2. So many
Trying to
face
go.
cards.
If you're trying to throw me, I'm going to Q ace ace, right? Being the thought. If you try to block the cycloid, I'm going to Q into throw. So it looks like it was 3 aces in hand then, or I'm not sure the Q makes much sense.
Yeah, like we're not just uppercut. Especially knowing that Eagle Totem was still part of the range. So Juicer goes up 2-0. I'm rooting for the bald guy. The bald guy with glasses is going to win this one, dudes.
Oh boy, that's some sharp predictions right there.
No Streliantes over here.
You see, this is why I keep losing in IYL. I have too much hair. 2 attack to poke out. Definitely expecting a mix-up normal.
Yeah.
I don't think you're trying to poke a throw out with it too, because the chance of your 2 getting eaten by a king is just too high.
Yeah, I like you know, either side of that card was okay from Juicer. King would have been better, but King's always better. So you can't really hold it against him. But maybe it means he doesn't have one.
I don't necessarily think so. I think he might have a king. I think he's just holding on to it.
Yeah.
Probably just trying to see, hey, can I turn this 5 into a thing? If I can turn this 5 into a thing while having my king in hand, that's great.
Of course.
So the funny thing is, like, the last game started off pretty poorly for Juicer, but then he just sort of bursted Sharpo down when Sharpo got a little greedy towards the mid game.
I mean, Truck's card efficient and he has a lot of health. There we go.
Alright, setting up a knockdown situation. So the Mad King School of Geiger Thought says to play a 6 attack here.
Alright, so 6 attacker block, right? That's the LK thing too. He's like, just normal attacker block.
Like, I don't like throwing here. So let's say as an example that Trock wake up kings. The normal attack is generally better. If he wakes up and blocks, you still have a 50-50 chance of beating it with the 5 or 6 attack. If he uppercuts, it's beating that anyway. I don't like throwing on meaty against Trock.
Yeah. Unless you have if you're a character that can really capitalize it. But in this particular matchup with the hand sizes as they are, we're not in TD. Like, even in TD, you'd probably just play a J. It would do the same things.
Right, so I'm not sure what these throws are accomplishing, I guess is the issue. I think from an advantage situation, you want to try to draw more cards with your normals if you have them.
There's
there
one.
we go. There's one. Thing is, I'm not if that familiar with Sharpo's Geiger. Personally, I know he's very aggressive, right? So there's a chance he just wanted to throw because it's the most aggressive play he could make with his hand. I just don't think it's as good as using an mix-up normal. So
right.
It doesn't really tell me much about whether he has one or not.
He did. He had a 7.
Right, but we don't know if that was a top deck or not.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
That's the big thing.
Okay. So yeah, just block to get up. He could play more face cards. We got 2 kings in the bin for Juicer. We got only 1 queen, so fast J, slow J, both really good cards to wake up with this Trock. You know, so just do your thing, build up, get him below a certain health total where TD actually becomes a lethal play. Nice.
Yeah, notably, we really haven't seen normal represented from Juicer at all. So these could honestly just be general poke-out throws that aren't kings, because 2 kings are gone.
Yep, there's a confirm.
Yeah, we're at the point in the set now where Sharpo has a better idea of specific cards to play around, so does Juicer, obviously. The early 2 games are more like, what are you willing to do? Game 3 is definitely more of adjusting your range to specifically beat certain cards.
Yeah, I mean, we're gonna see if Juicer stays in the matchup, even if he doesn't take this. He seems to be doing fine.
Right, and 36 isn't insurmountable when Geiger's middling hand by any stretch.
Yeah, I think Juicer thought he would outspeed a throw here, because now it's kind of the time for Geiger to put the gas on, even if he's only got a 6-card hand. He can really close it out with some spaghetti combos.
Yeah, like queens are going to be really important cards for him.
Yeah.
2 aces are gone, and I don't think he has other ones, so if he has a fast attack, it's king. As far as Juicer's hand goes, one of the advantages of going pretty throw heavy with Trock is you kind of disguise it as your hand. Like, yes, the grappler is playing his very many throws. This says so much about what the rest of his hand looks like.
Right.
All right, 4 card R&D, so pretty reasonable sizes. 3 is what I consider the minimum to really profitably play R&D. You can do it with 2, but that's usually digging for, that's like an emergency look for a Joker to see if it's the next couple cards you draw.
Right.
All right, doesn't want to deal with the potential of dodge in the Time Spiral Hurricane, or dodge in any spiral. Flash kick? No flash kick.
Oh.
Okay. Gets thrown. So that's definitely a probing R&D, right? It's, I'm going to get a card back, go card neutral, get a spiral. Juicer sniffs it out, gets the throw.
Yep. That was a choose to die moment there. But then again, we don't know. We don't know if...
His hand's so low, though, right?
Yeah,
like,
it might not be...
Good chance that's his only spiral. Especially since in the mid game, I think Queen just has so much value.
Oh, that's a valuable charge.
Yeah, known Jay a hand. I think he just doesn't really care about losing combat to Jay. 28 and 20 is pretty similar life totals. If Geiger can get 2 aces, he can get 3.
I mean, I don't know. If he did 3 less damage to that combat, he'd be at 35, which is pretty much the same amount of combat wins.
It's different if you don't plan on getting growth. If you're trying to give him specifically a 32, that means you're doing throw 8, and they're dead. If you do throw 8, and they're at 35, they still have life left over.
That's true. I'm also looking at it as trying to land aces, though. Like trying to get a dodge in somewhere to do 20, put him at 12, and then 12 or 15 doesn't really make a difference for Truck at that point. I mean, throw 4, right? If that's all you got.
I think it adds. I think just having the extra 3 points of life here does matter specifically. Like, this is a very specific damage threshold for Truck that matters a bit more than other ones do.
Indeed. Okay, Cycloid.
Cycloid. So pretty high chance of a 3rd ace here. So I think Juicer's forced to face down.
He might have it. He doesn't, and maybe he didn't have the 3rd ace.
I think if he had the 3rd ace, he'd play it regardless of the face down.
Yeah, if you have 3, you play it. If you had 4, maybe you don't, and you reversal again, but...
Third reversal is lethal mix-up for Geiger here. So Juicer kind of in lethal range for the first time all set. Juicer has been the most dominant IYL player this season by a pretty fair margin.
There's the equal totem. It's a good call. You don't want to die with aces in your hand. Was this one real, though? Nope. It's a 3rd ace. Excellent. So we'll see if we get a switch here. He's ahead in the set. It's pretty important. I'm not sure what his anti-Geiger picks are in modern times.
Onimaru, I think, is pretty even. I think Trock is pretty even.
Yeah.
I think Rook is disadvantaged. I'm not even sure how much Rook he's played lately. So I think sticking with Trock is just plus EV, more so than switching to Oni. Even though his Oni is really strong, Oni can get into situations where he gets really ruined by Queen harder than Trock does.
Yeah.
Okay.
There's an adjustment. See if Sharpo goes with the multiple face card 5 attacks. Because, I mean, Juicer failed to grow at all that game. He didn't block anything. So that's, I mean, and look how close it was still. But with giant growth on the board, he'd have Beast and Leash as an option. So it's important for him to at least get it online. Like, just try and get 2 blocks up early on so that if you just draw into your aces, if you just get into a big hand at some point and then you end up with them, you want to be able to put your opponent into a threatening mix-up. And we get an immediate power up here on the 2nd combat.
I'm kind of okay with that. Like, 6s are good cards. 6s are not aces, right? So
yeah.
If you can get Cycloid this early or TSH, it's definitely putting Trock to the question of how much do you want to not get, I don't know, Hurricaned or Cycloided, right?
Wow, he still throws.
The answer is, I don't really care.
Yeah, because I'm thinking there, I'll just block, you know? Like, sure, play either of those. I'd like for you to burn your cards or be brave and throw me. But I guess, you know, the next layer of that is that Geiger knows he can just go block, and that's what he really wants. So you might as well just chuck him.
All right, and now Juicer is just going to keep throwing. He actually, the only really profitable move for Geiger against that range is to normal attack. If he uses a big spiral, yeah, you knock 20 health off of a Trock. right?
And go down to 4 cards.
Yeah, which is horrible. Like, queen is kind of profitable if you have a king to tack onto it. Otherwise, it's not great.
I think that's a real joker. Yeah, for sure.
I will say that I don't mind using the joker this early. Jokers definitely lose a lot of value against Geiger later because of temporal distortion. Now, last game it would have helped because Geiger didn't really have a TD threat. So there's very, very few situations that will appear like that, though. Most of the time, your jokers are going to be gold bursts, or they're going to be used really early when Qs hit you, or they're going to be used in the mid game when Qs hit you.
This is a lot of throw into projectile. I mean, maybe he'll convert this one. Yeah, king, like you said. Yeah, like I appreciate having an extra reversal as a grappler against Geiger. So like typically, it's hard for me to say, okay, I took a queen. I know he has aces, but if he uses them, he'll go down to like 4 cards. I'll just let him do it. I'm not going to throw a joker out for that.
Yeah, not being scared off the throw range at all. This early power up from Sharpo opened up a decent amount of damage, right? He's done 30 over the course of this game from just chucking projectiles at his face, which is a third of Trock's health. At the same time, they're in his discard now, and he can't keep using them. So at some point, he's going to have to expend those aces.
Yeah, and basically, when you get in this situation against a non-grappler character, you are putting them on a clock saying, if you don't keep drawing attacks for the rest of the game, like, you're in trouble. Because I don't care if you convert your entire hand into damage. I actually hope that you do. That way I can play worse things and continue to win combat. And that's just one of the many ways that a grappler can oppress an opponent's hand.
That being said, he has taken a
man.
The third king is gone. Okay, face down. Yeah, that's a fake. The chance of the second joker being this early is pretty low. I also feel like he's going to use that second joker as a gold burst against temporal distortion. Probably something like War Stomp into gold burst.
Yeah, fair enough. I just don't see a reason for Sharpo to really play his aces yet. He's just got to just weather the storm, get him low enough to make them hit, and make him count.
Did he finally run out of throws is the question.
I mean, this is still hand oppression. You have to take what you can get, you know. You take 11, he loses 2 cards.
Okay, hand size parity. We know at least a third of Sharpo's hand's aces. One of the advantages to playing really aggressively in Yomi is similar to playing really aggressively in poker. It's very difficult to tell what someone's hand is like if they're keeping the gas on. Whereas if you're playing a bit more passively, it's a little easier to get an idea for what the opponent's hand looks like. The only reasonable inference you can make about Sharpo's hand right now is there are slightly less attacks in it now than there were before.
Right. But you still don't know when he's just going to try and get blocks just to build up to a lethal.
Yeah, he was going for 23 there with the mix-up normal to try to put Trock down to 16.
Mm-hmm. And then that's like, you know, spiral, hits a block into throw into spaghetti, and then you get the kill.
Okay, that's a I don't have dodges, or I don't have something good to do off my dodges, so you lose some of your cards to keep doing stuff.
But does Sharpo have throws? He does.
Yeah, the 4th throw is definitely a cute thing. I don't think it's a sign that he ran out of throws. I think it's more of a sign of I want to do a bit more damage.
Yeah, he's not playing for TD with the 5-card hand, so might as well get it used. Cyclone.
Yeah, blocks the DP. Alright, so he stands up. I think it's a very reasonable block there. Time Spiral Hurricane is just too awful, I would say, in that situation. The chance of you actually killing Trock with the remaining 3 cards is basically 0.
Yeah. Okay. It's not quite under Magic 45, but...
You know, it is 0 because you can't do 26 damage off of a throw.
Right. Unless you were in TD already.
Alright, threatening the beats. And again, one nice thing about playing Trock is when you use your Big A Super, you get your blocks back, so he's going to still have a hand advantage over Geiger, even if he attempts Beast Unleashed.
That's right. If you find some War Stomps also, it'll be even more disgusting. There's a queen, it's a queen.
Alright, just protecting his hand a little bit. At this point, his life is low enough where queen into Time Stop is actually a little bit scarier. Even if Sharpo's on low hand, it would only take a little bit more combat to close the game out.
Mm-hmm.
So, 48, so not quite lethal to Beast Unleashed, but he might try to pull the trigger pretty soon.
Now he's at 46. But valuable block for Geiger there, just getting back up to 7 cards.
he needs to find jokers and he needs to find reversals, or he needs to find pairs and trips so he can get his reversal back.
Yeah, so it's either a really timely gold burst can get him back in the game, or he might just have lethal now.
All right, infers there's at least one throw. Well, no, we know there's a throw left in Geiger's hand. There's a 10.
It's 10, yeah. 10 throw goes in, gets hit by a bull rush. So now we're under 45.
TD gets knocked off. Lethal threat's pretty much diffused. 2 aces in the discard, so nothing really scary here. Yeah, lots of cards on this TD. It's a 7 card R&D, not TD. Sorry. So 7 cards is a lot.
Yeah, that's finding a joker. That's like potential gold burst or play attacks until he dodges and then test his metal and see if he's willing to drop Beast Unleashed.
Yeah, pretty much playing a Lum straight, right? You're tutoring your deck at this point. If you can't find something useful, if 7 cards out of 26, your hand's already insane, right? So
yeah.
Or you're just phenomenally terrible luck and both your jokers are bottom bagged,
Yeah.
right? But like that's not likely.
Oh, that's a good combat win there for Sharpo.
I actually really like the idea from Juicer, though. I think that was very smart. Saying, I think you were looking for a joker, I don't think you're looking for a reversal. And because of that, you're going to do some sort of attack into a face down to try to be Beast Unleashed, and so I'm going to Eagle Totem it, but Sharpo just playing the pretty just strong reversal.
That's what makes Geiger so strong, is that you talk about all of his mix-ups, you talk about all of his options, how Temporal Distortion works, how good Cyclo it is, you just forget about King. It just sets everything up and brings the entire package together. It's like secretly the thing that enables, maybe not even secret, I think all you guys know this stuff. But from a commentator's perspective, just letting you guys know, King is like such a strong card for Geiger because it's just, it's leaving the other resources in your hand while you play a ridiculously safe thing that sets those up. It's very, very, very good. I mean, most R&Ds become Kings or Temporal Distortions or Jokers, right? Is that a true statement?
Yeah, or they become aces if you have the one in hand already.
Right, or you want to make a trips or something. You can like find that third card.
But yeah, King and Joker and 4 are definitely your high rolls off of that.
Yeah.
Yeah, so 8 cards off of that one. So
Juicer takes Juicer takes 8. Life is now 8. Research and development is an 8. Draw 8 cards.
Actually, the chances of having the 4th King are outstandingly high because he either already had it in his hand, he found it in the 9 cards now, or it's in the bottom of his deck. So the chance of having 4th King is actually very, very high. Chance of having both Jokers is very, very high.
Okay.
Have to face down. Obviously, no choice.
And we're dead. 2-2. Okay. Sharpo wants a rematch. Let's see if we go to character select.
So the question is, what does Juicer think about Onimaru versus Sharpo's next pick, right?
Right. He's staying in it.
Like, Chalk makes sense, right? Because Onimaru versus Gloria, I'm not super familiar with the matchup, but from what I can tell, it's pretty even. Onimaru versus Zane is obviously favored. Chalk versus Zane is obviously favored. So Chalk is just the highest overall matchup spread against any of Sharpo's characters.
Indeed.
So even if he's very slightly disadvantaged, we've seen that he can blow up Sharpo pretty hard. And the last game, even though I liked the line of play from him, I think he went a little too reckless on throws. I still think the line mostly made sense, but then it gave Sharpo just enough of a window to breathe once Juicer had to lay off the gas a bit.
Okay, after the slow J that time, so it actually gets in. It doesn't trade. CBAT asking, doesn't Juicer have a Zane? Like, I would play Zane against Sharpo. Given that Sharpo's main characters are Geiger and Gloria, right? Like, you'd probably play Zane as well.
Probably. At the same time, doesn't Sharpo also have a Zane? So maybe Zane mirrors are just not what you want to
to close out
down to.
Yeah, to close out a whole tournament and just leave it up to Lady Luck there. That's some good Zane armor. You know, you can make sure that you have a Zane so you don't play against any Zanes.
I'm just trying to think what else Sharpo even plays. Those are the only 3 characters I'm aware of.
Yeah. CPAT's saying that he doesn't have a Zane. And he actually told me, this is insider info here, So if Juicer's listening, which I don't think he is, that he doesn't have a Zane counter pick. But CPAT acknowledges that maybe Sharp was lying, and this is all an elaborate ruse.
I feel like you don't get to grand finals of Yomi League without having some
that is Zane counter. No, I think you get there by playing really good Gloria against whatever Zanes you run into. And in IYL, you definitely play a lot of strange matchups. Like, it's why I do really well in IYL format usually. Just because, like, I'll end up playing against a lot of low tier characters, and in my opinion, my character beats low tier. And then when I get to tournament, it gets really hard, and I gotta like start playing characters like Zane and you know, just counter picking Geiger. Yeah, I have to solve Geiger problem. I have to play Chalk against Argigarg. Like, there's lots of stuff I have to do in the tournament, like in the actual tournament section. But I mean, a Gloria main, a Setsuki main, a Rook main, an Oni main, they just tear through these league events, and it's really kind of cool to see it. Like, you saw in IYL 2, you had like Anomus playing really good Vendetta and making it to the top. You had in IYL 3, we had Carandio's Jaina doing really well, getting to Eastern finals, right?
Right, and then we had like me last year playing Rook basically the entire way.
Yeah, so I feel like the league format, it does kind of tend to help those stronger players kind of come into the fold without them having to play lots of top tier. I don't know if it's a good or a bad thing. It's just kind of how it ends up happening. And there's always some like Cinderella story of a player who, like Fusferanto, right? Like Gwen. It's like, okay, sure, a Gwen player, primarily Gwen player, makes it all the way to the semifinals. It's awesome. It's awesome to see.
And then we went Gwen Gloria to get into Yomi League Bowl. Like, that's not a matchup. If you had asked me, I would not have told you this would happen. Anyway, so Sharp with a very slight life advantage. It probably had a hand to back that up, right? He got 2 aces. Juicer has been pretty heavy on throw or reversal against TD immediately. He basically never has blocked or dodged.
It feels bad as a grappler. Like, you really don't want to just start the game essentially at 30 health against a Geiger. So it's like you gotta push some kind of button to take him out. Because if you're knocked down, like, yeah, I blocked a thing, but I'm still gonna die if I'm wrong. So there you go, another bull rush hitting a slow time spiral. I don't know, maybe he just realized that, I don't know, is he psychic? Does he say, okay, I'm gonna hit pokes with my slow J, and then I'm gonna hit exactly queens with my fast J? That's like all we've seen.
Trading women okay, right? So, like, I don't know. I think he's just expecting more J's.
Yeah.
I think trading 10 for 6 in this situation is okay. Maybe damage trades are a little scary against Geiger because of the threat of his Dragon Punches and his Temporal Distortion, but I'm okay trading health at this point.
Okay. No, trading feels bad to me. Maybe that's why I don't play enough, Toxic Breath against Geiger.
Mm-hmm.
Ooh, one attached block dodge here with 12 cards.
So it's probably either 9 or 15 or
yeah,
20.
20. Yeah, just get it out of your hand. It's so hard to land those. Like, it's 1.1 or 1.0, 1.2, 1.4. Those are all speeds that are really difficult for you to get, damage conversion from your hand against characters with really fast reversals like Geiger. Like, you gotta hit a throw or something, or like a poke that's trying to keep your throws out. But it's really tough to commit to that 2 ace play. It's really tough to commit to a 2 ace play against a character that plays lots of reversal block. It's really tough. You have to do it every once in a while just to keep them off you. But you'd rather just block a lot of the time against that range. Nyguten, yeah, that is Mad King.
Hello, Nyguten. It's nice to hear from you again. Alright, so Juicer back where he kind of was in the first 2 games, where he has a decent chunk of life, has Geiger at least a bit below half.
He's got 1 attached block. He's grabbing some aces. So it just takes 1 more. 1 more blocked king, 1 more blocked cycloid or blocked poke. Can a good move be bad? It's true, it's never bad.
That's why I called it good move, and that's why the name stuck. Alright, so good move is in hand, though.
That's not a good move.
That's a pretty good move. Has at least 1 other dodge. Probably wouldn't... Again, generally assume as Truck you have at least 2 dodges if you're war stomping, and this is especially true against Geiger.
Yes, indeed.
The only exception being the, magical Christmas land. Up there's the dodge of you had 4 cards in hand, I had 4 tens in hand, so you're no carding against my Beast Unleashed, right?
Yeah.
You're probably never going to hit that against Geiger.
No. I don't know how you could. I don't know in what world Geiger would go to 0 cards. It's really tough.
Like, he already just has a lot of cards. He doesn't really have an incentive. He can't even really dump his hand out without TD.
Yeah.
So, like, what would he do?
Oh.
Finally lands the mix-up normal.
And he's going to probably try to Joker this just to get rid of the conversion and keep the life lead. See, playing the Joker just means, okay, I took 7. I'm not going to take any more. I don't care if I get more cards. I'm Troc. It's not a big deal. It's more so just, I want you to make a mistake and run into it. I want you to burn your Times Power Hurricane. I want you to burn a king. That's really why you do that at all. Like, sure, every time your Joker whiffs, you could say, well, I could have bluffed and it would have had the same result, but there's something to be said about maintaining a life lead against Geiger.
Especially a Geiger who's loaded.
Yeah, with 10 cards, yeah, you got to make sure that you can kill him in 2 or 3 combats. Otherwise, it's going to take too long to beat him. Another good Cycloid block.
I think that's a bad Cycloid more than a good block, but the block was also good. I think Cycloid realistically is just not winning combat that turn. The way that Juicer's been playing, the way his hand looks, and the fact that he's powered for aces, he's almost certainly trying to go for Beast Unleashed. I think giving him too much of an opportunity to just safely block for it is just not a good play.
Yeah, you play things that aren't really blockable. You play TSH there if you have to. 4 dodges in the bin. Let's see if he has another one. He does.
He does. This is probably going to get the face down. Now the question is, if he face downs,
you just do it.
Go for it.
You just do it. This is IYL5 Grand Finals. You're about to go up 3. You didn't do it. Man, I would have got busted so hard on that.
You get busted on Dragon Busters enough times.
Yeah, I do.
Just being like, I have to land 52 right now, and then you didn't, right?
Hey man, he gets cards back. Oh, let's try again.
Okay. So the second Joker is the question. Chance second Joker is a bit higher than chance of not second
He's
Joker.
doing it. He's doing it.
Cards are back.
GG from.
Game is over. 3-2.
See, like I can justify doing that as Troc though, because you get cards back, you can power up again. But maybe the hard part is actually getting the blocks attached.
Yes, the hard part is getting the blocks attached a second time, especially when he's then going to get as many cards that can give you those blocks back out of his hand.
Yeah.
While you're in Giant Growth, because then there's no threat to playing them outside them getting dodged.
Yep. Oh, good turn 1.
So notably, Sharpo is going ride or die with Geiger.
That's
instantly 25.
Yeah.
That's one of my hands. I accidentally slipped one of my skippers over to Sharpo through the internet. Yes. Oh no, Setsuki on turn 1, she has that many cards left in hand after she does 25.
Alright, this is the first pump. Yeah, see, I guess I was not aware that he would have 6 of his dodges that early in the game. So it might have been my expectation that it's going to be really hard for Juicer to land that Beast Unleashed ever. So I would have gone for it and then just kind of try to play the rest of the game out, knowing that I had a life lead and a good hand size. So
I will just call the first, I think if I had to go with a word for the first 3 turns from Sharpo, it would be logical. It is the most logical series of plays that a Geiger could make with those cards. It's 5 attack and ace if you get it.
Oh.
Try it. Yeah. I will add that I will just add all that together. So we'll go with this whole sequence. 5 attack, did hit, great. I'm doing 25. Now he thinks my hand sucks because I just dumped a bunch of damage out, so he's going to try to throw me. So I'll 5 attack. Okay, well now I need the ace again, so I'm going to Gold Burst. It's just a logical series of plays.
Yeah. Or he's going to try and undercut a spiral, so he blocked the first up hawk. He takes this one. But yeah, that made a lot of sense. Scary going down against a Troc, 1 Joker in the bin when he's up 3 games to 2. But hey, he's got a life lead.
Just a baby R&D. As I say, the minimum good R&D. It's 3 cards.
Oh, Corn Skewer.
Now the problem with playing like logical plays like that early is now, well, what are we doing to stop Troc from throwing me all over the floor? we kind of went all in on I'm going to try to burn him down with aces and then play a safe game for the rest of the game. And you didn't quite burn him down.
Yeah.
Health is still pretty healthy. He has 2 attached blocks. You landed the queen, but now you have to go. Yeah, you have to go down a decent amount of cards to make it profitable. That being said, you've still done a lot of damage to Troc. He's under half.
Yeah, just 2 combat wins, right?
Yeah, 2 real ones, right?
So I think Mix of Normal is a really strong play here from Sharpo. We got a lot of face cards in the discard pile already from Juicer. I mean, I'm okay with like a block or a 3 attack or something here, just to get card flow going. 5 attack, okay.
So again, note that the percentage that Troc wakes up button has been 0. Like wake up normal attack. I think percentage normal attack from Juicer has actually been 0.
Right.
It's a very Othello-like Troc.
Yeah. Okay, let's get Beast Unleashed on board.
I think it's like try to land Beast Unleashed, get your aces back, try to land Eagle Totem, end the game. I think I would go for Naked Beast Unleashed for what that's worth this turn.
Still?
I think I would still go for Naked Beast Unleashed this turn.
Yeah, it's still kind of oppressing the hand, right? And saying, because that's what Throw says. It says, someone's losing cards, all right? Whether it's me or you. It's actually not going to be me because, yeah, there it is. I like the play too on the 5-card hand. But now he can actually put him to 44. He didn't, though.
So that means no 8 in hand. That just means no 8 in hand.
Yeah.
No 7 in hand either. It puts him to
Yeah.
45.
I like the idea of hit me with all you got. You're not going to kill me. You got a 5-card TD hand. And I basically either did a ton of damage or I lost 1 card.
So the question then, does he possibly not have Beast Unleashed and he's trying to set up mix up normal into Eagle Totem?
It's possible.
Troc with 2 aces is a loaded gun, right? So
Throws again. Geiger just scrambling to get his hand size up.
So Beast Unleashed lethal. Obviously have to keep that in mind. Once you're at 45 or under, anything is possible.
Doesn't power up. So now we're left questioning whether he has it or not.
I think he does.
Dodges. Okay, so that's a clear message to me.
I think he's had it, and I think the plan was he's going with my plan, but the 8s or 7s are pairs.
Sure.
At the same time, I think if he did...
So that's 2 times. If he had it 2 times...
Right. Well, keep in mind, I think every single turn he could have just done 45.
That's right. I'm saying it's a mental thing you have to shake off now. If he loses this set and he had it in his hand, not the set but the game, it's a thing that as a being a person who's been in this situation, seeing that happen to you and being like, I could have just done it. I could have just taken him out. You have to suppress that thought with all of your being.
At the same time, again, 5 turns in a row, Code done 45.
No, that's 5.
Stomps, implying another dodge in hand.
Yeah,
it's only 3 used. Yeah, he almost certainly has it.
Yeah, he hasn't been found wanting for dodges, which is really fortuitous against Geiger here.
This is the one time he dodges against TD because he just has not established that.
He does. It's like Sharpo. That's 6 or 7 combats now. He's played an option that loses to Beast Unleashed.
It's just like, well, the thing is now he's a 9-card TD, so those turns where you could have just done 45 safely, you can't anymore.
Oh no. So my thing is, after all this card draw, he's surely found a pair, right? Like that's my guess. So there has been a time with which he's been able to power up and has not. So that's still my assumption, that he has the Beast Unleashed in hand and he's trying to dodge into it. I mean,
and that says, oh, he has another TD up. He has the spirals in hand. He's just counting. He's saying, I want to make this lethal for as few cards as possible. And I think, oh my god.
Fast J gets under. It's a good thing he didn't spin that thing around.
So 2 4s are gone. So here's the thing, right? Would that play have even been possible if he played Beast Unleashed, right? I'm not saying this from the, we're looking in hindsight where he's played 6 combats in a row that would have lost to it. It's more just the texture of the game has changed now because you've given Sharpo so many free draws.
Indeed. Dodges a king, finds another one.
But the problem is now, have you given him too much time to draw a Joker?
And he...
Let's find out. I think he drew it.
No, that's it. That's the
that
set.
is the Yomi Bowl.
Wow. How long did he hold it?
Is that the first ever full undefeated Yomi season?
Yes, that is.
So your Yomi League 5 champion will be Mystic Juicer with the full Mystic Trader set.
Man. That's incredible. Give him a little bit of time. Mystic Juicer 387Y. We give this guy a little bit of time to decompress. We'll try to get him in here for an interview.
Again, I'm giving him all the credit for not folding when he realized he could have played Beast Unleashed 6 turns.
I'm telling you, man. I'm gonna ask. That's my question. I'm gonna ask him because I know what that's like. I know what it's like holding FDB against Lum and not playing it and getting blocked like over and over and over again, and just being like, dude, I could have just. It's probably not on Discord at the moment. Probably turned it off. He doesn't want any distractions. I agree. Yeah.
Yeah, for real.
Yeah, nice. Not tilting. Incredible restraints on the first dodge. That was amazing. So games. Oh, Sharpo, the heartbreak. Yeah, games 5 and 6, both incredible restraint with not playing into the Joker the first time and then just holding and finally just drawing enough dodges to bait it out. You're in the second placers group.
Yeah, not for Yomi League though.
Not for Yomi League. Summer Smash, that was hell of a tournament though. Yeah, just told MJ when he's ready. I want to get him on the stream, get him in my Discord server. Wow, Trock's the man. That's should be my counter pick for Geiger then. I've learned a few things here. I'll send him a link on the
Yeah.
good old Discord here. Get him into the Cookie Thief stream box.
Yeah, that was just a really fantastic match though. I really enjoyed watching it.
Is he even on? I don't see.
What's 387Y?
I don't know, but it's probably in the Fantasy Strike one. If he's on right now.
Or in the DRB Plat Lounge.
I liked him there, I didn't see him.
He is.
Is he?
Yeah, I'll give him in. He is. I see him right there.
Yeah, send him one too. Let's see if he gets in here. When he's ready. I understand. It's brutal. It's a harsh feeling, man.
Here he is.
It's good and bad. Just a moment, guys.
There he is.
Nice. All right. Congratulations, Mystic Juicer. Perfect record, undefeated, IYL5. How does it feel to be at the top, the highest building in Morningstar Sanctuary, staring out into the countryside, viewing the Dreadlands to the north as the next conquest?
I'm freaking out a little.
I'm proud of you, man. I still remember the first set we played in Yomi League like years ago, and you've come a really long way.
Yeah, it's been a hell of a journey. I still can't believe this is real. The undefeated run is pretty crazy. Like, definitely a lot of luck going into a lot of those wins. But holy shit, that was something. Good Lord.
So, question for you. So Richard has a more game-specific question. So you went Orange Rook basically for the entire regular season, for a lot of the regular season. So what made you decide to play Troc for the Grand Finals?
I knew that sharpobject would play either Gloria or Geiger. I don't like Onimaru versus Gloria. I don't mind Onimaru versus Geiger, but throughout the season, I've had an opportunity to play Troc versus Geiger a lot. Not just in this tournament, but in a couple of the other events that have happened fairly recently. And it to be a good enough matchup that I was happy to pick Troc into the double blind. And then once the first two games went my way, I felt...
It's ride or die time now.
Yeah, like it was a decision between... Once I took the first loss, in game 3, I thought... Actually, I just re-upped with Troc. I felt still like...
yeah, it was the second loss that you took a little bit of a break. And you thought about it. Like I figured we were going to character select at least so you could look at everybody and then probably pick Troc again. But I thought you might do that.
Yeah.
So I'm also curious, by the way, about Oni versus Geiger. Oh, sorry, not Oni. Ina versus Gloria. Because my thought in the matchup, playing Onimaru a bit, is that it's even-ish, but the main strain there is between Gloria's recurring dodges, and also at some point someone has to throw somebody.
Yeah, and that's why I am not. Well,
I'm getting
I
a little
will
robot,
take that
but
as a double blind. Bit of like I'll take the risk of double blinding into it, but in grand finals and against a player like sharpobject, I don't think I'm coming ahead in Onimaru versus Gloria. That's just where my Onimaru is at, and I think where his Gloria is at. So I was happy to just deprive him. I figured that Geiger was like the 100% choice on his side. So I'm glad. I was happy to see that as the first matchup. So the reads are already calibrated a little bit.
So it's basically like a comfort pick.
Match. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, sometimes I don't know. Troc is definitely more stable overall. He's the character I would play against somebody who knows all the cast, for instance. So that was basically the decision-making process. Okay,
so no Zane though? I mean, that seems like the Sharpo range buster, right?
I don't have a Zane. I'm not confident enough in my Zane. I played Zane in a fast timer tournament against Fushparanto, and he absolutely mopped the floor with me. No, that's not a pick I'm willing to play yet. I may do some practice with Zane to see if I can figure that out. But I don't know. Isn't Troc just a better Zane anyway? Like,
in some ways. So I have a question. So I really admired your patience in game 5. You got that. You're pretty fortuitous with your dodges all set. Like, that was incredible how many dodges you ended up having. But in game 5, you had a situation where you had Known Beast Unleashed in hand. You dodged something. No, it was game 5. You dodged something, might have been a poke or whatever, and then Sharpo
Yeah.
face down. You did not do Beast Unleashed.
Yeah.
I'm the kind of guy who does do it there because of the situation being like again, I didn't know you had any extra dodges. I didn't know if you had if your hand felt comfortable enough to take down the last 40 HP. Like that's the thing that I would do. I would be like, okay, I'm getting 2 cards back. You know, he's playing a joker or whatever. I'll probably find a way to scramble back to a victory. You didn't. You dodged again and then played it and took the game. What's the kind of sense of relief you get from that kind of read? That is it just like just tell me what your mind was going through during that situation.
Yeah, what was going through my mind after on the first dodge was, okay, this is real, and if it's not real, I have another dodge in hand. I had the other 10 in hand already,
Right.
so I can afford to play patient here. And then what was going through my mind on the second dodge was, please don't have drawn the other joker.
Yes.
Please don't have drawn the other joker. Please don't have drawn the other joker, because at that point, I can't remember the exact situation, like what the game state was exactly at that point, how many resources I'd spent in terms of jacks and
Sure.
queens and other dodges. But I'm pretty sure that if that had been a joker, I don't
You're
think,
running out of gas.
Yeah, I don't think I would have had enough in the tank to finish that
Sure.
game off.
So then, a thing that happened to me when I played against Enemies in the IYL2 Grand Finals was a situation very similar to what just happened to you. And I was telling Mad King, you watched the feed afterwards. I said that there's a thing that happens to you in your brain. And if Mystic Juicer loses Game 6 and it goes to be 3-3, okay?
Yeah.
There's going to be a thing that he has to suppress really, really hard, which is, I could have played Beast Unleashed 7 turns in a row and I would have ended this right now. And I said, that's if he loses this set, the only way he's going to win Game 7 is if he can take that thought and just eradicate it from his brain. How did you feel on the 4th block, the 5th block, the 6th defensive option, the throw in the middle of the sequence? How, like, at what point did you have to say, okay, calm down, I'll get it to hit?
So the thing is, there were 2 forces at play. I went into Game 7, and I think by like turn, Game 6, sorry. I went into Game 6, and by turn 3 or 4, I had 3 10s in hand. So the game plan actually for the first half of the game was block until I've got 2 attached blocks, and then throw and be aggressive as possible on with combat options that would deplete his hand.
Yeah.
Get him to 3 cards.
You wanted to go for the checkmate.
Get checkmate, get guaranteed checkmate. But as the game went on, and I realized that because he had been playing patient enough that like he was really holding back on like normal combat wins on throws and stuff like that. So I think that was decreasing in terms of odds.
Yeah.
As he was blocking successfully, I actually felt more confident because I had the dodges in hand already. So I started that sequence with something like 7 or like 6 dodges in hand, something ridiculous.
I see.
Yeah. So as the dodges failed, I knew that there would come a point. I was basically banking on there coming a point where he would trigger. He would say, "You don't have anything left. You're just going to raw Beast Unleashed at some point. So now I can."
An attack
play
has to
safe
come
stuff.
out. Yeah.
So
It's funny because I had like the inverse game plan. So my game plan is you got him to, I think it was 60 something. And my thought was, okay, so he's going to play Beast Unleashed, and then he's going to get his aces back and threaten to kill him with Eagle Totem.
Right. Yeah. That would definitely also work. Okay, so anybody who wants to beat my Troc in the future, here's some good lessons. Troc allows me, and the reason I made the switch from Rook to Troc specifically is that Troc is so conservative in the range that he can play, and I much prefer spending in the mid game. I much prefer spending queens and jacks and kings as I draw them while sitting on Beast Unleashed, compared to cashing in Beast Unleashed in the mid game and then proceeding. That's probably, it depends a little bit on what the read is in terms of
Yeah, you did it in like game 1 or 2. You did a an early Beast Unleashed that wasn't lethal.
Yeah. Yeah, that was
depends.
guaranteed. It's 3 silent aces at like turn 6. Like
Yeah.
as soon as I saw no card show up, it's like, okay, yeah, this is even if he had face down, I probably wouldn't have thought about it. I probably just would have cashed it in.
Yeah. So man, that was an incredible set. So what are your thoughts now? Like what do you have to say about the league, the season, potentially playing IYL6? Like what are some things that are going through your head right now?
First of all, I just want to give a huge shout out on stream to Vengeful Pickle and ZQXX for bringing IYL back, like just basically making the decision, like taking the decision going, hey, like this is a really cool tournament. It's a really, I think of it like as a flagpole like event for the community, and it was really, really cool to see somebody really, really new to the community just step up and go like, hey, like this is a really cool event. Like why, what's going on, and would there be any issue with me kind of running it? So like huge shout outs to those two guys for doing all the hard work, because like this thing's huge. Biggest event by far, like in the community, just because of the format, right? You've got 10-11 weeks of pools. It's crazy. So that's really, really cool. In terms of like looking at the future, honestly, I'm just excited to be playing more events. I want to like 19XX is wrapping up. We are very close to top 4 at this point. Once that's wrapped up, I think I'm going to give it maybe 2 or 3 weeks, and then I'll start that up again. I'm looking forward to seeing other events played. I want to work on a bunch of other characters, like letting go of thinking myself of locking myself to a main or thinking about mains has actually opened up my enjoyment of the game tremendously. I've been able to in different formats with different characters, like picking up pocket characters like Lum. Like it's just been a great it's been a great opportunity to let go of a bunch of preconceptions about how I want to play the game and just explore different characters and stuff like that. So I've been having a ton of fun with that, and I'm not going anywhere anytime soon. So looking forward to doing a lot more of that.
I look forward to playing at your truck with my rook sometime.
Yeah. Hey, that's a fun matchup. That's anytime big bodies get involved, like I get really, really excited. Even though I think of myself as a pretty bad like grappler versus grappler player. I definitely love the matchup.
Rook is one of the reasons I picked rook up.
That's
okay,
cool.
The rook guy isn't playing rook anymore. I need to show this guy that rook's still a good character.
I'll play Midori against you. He'll play rook against you. Have the grappler trifecta. We'll make a 3v3 tournament, and we'll come at you guys.
It's not like I've abandoned rook entirely. I played rook a couple of times. It hasn't always worked out. But...
Hey, I mean, Mad King's impression is that rook is favored against a lot of the established top tier.
Oh man, I don't know.
Yeah,
I don't know about that.
Or does fine?
At least give me his name on that one.
So last question for you. Oh, go ahead. What you got?
I was just gonna say, like, hey, if that turns out to be the case, like, I fully acknowledge my may just be hang-ups about the character, that I just see him in a very particular way. If it means that, like, if somebody goes and proves me wrong, it's like all of a sudden rook is like, has a room to play or a role to play in the kind of counterpick carousel and stuff like that, I'd be super excited.
Yeah, you're talking to the Midori and Quince guy.
Yeah,
so people who hate and love our characters at the same time, right? So last question for you. Do you have any advice for new players looking to get into the game? Just what do you think? Playing events? Try to find players to, are we gonna do the men tournament again? Like, what's the thing? What do you want a new player coming to Yomi to see in the game, and how can they improve, and what should they be doing?
Well, first thing you can do is just subscribe to my YouTube channel, Simon Brandley.
Yeah, totally.
Just search Yomi in YouTube. No, the actually, in terms of like new player experience or people who are been exposed to the game and are kind of finding it online for the first time, finding the scene for the first time. Honestly, there's so many ways to engage with the scene right now. Men Tournament coming back is a huge opportunity. That is a fantastic training ground. I didn't realize, but like Carolad, who I think of as a really like promising, solid player, was like started in the last Men Tournament, which was, I mean, not too long ago. And he's tearing the roof off of some, like, he's getting really good placements. So that's a fantastic opportunity. So if you're not familiar, again, Men Tournament style, you're a new player, you get paired up with a more experienced player. They help you kind of figure out, they work with you to figure out how you can play your character, what stuff to look out for. So it's a really good way of improving your skills really quickly. There's events happening actually a lot. Like recently, we're coming to the end of a bit of a cycle with IYL, 19XX, and
I'm top 4 in Lucky Lem right now.
Yeah, there you go. Oh man, what a great format. Yeah, so we're coming to the end of a couple of tournaments. So I think pretty soon, like in the next month or so, there's going to be another wave of things happening. So there's always stuff popping off. That's a good opportunity to get involved. IYL, I think, is the best format for that kind of thing because you get to play a real broad set of people. Like you get like 11 guaranteed matches, right? Mm-hmm. Or 10 guaranteed matches as opposed to, double limb. If you're very new, you're probably going 0-2. So that can be a little discouraging. So I like IYL is one of the earlier tournaments that I really enjoyed in terms of building skill and meeting other people, kind of meeting players and getting familiar with different personalities that are in the community. So that's a great opportunity. I hope IYL doesn't go too long before running again, although it looks like Vengeful Pickle's running something in the medium term, so maybe a couple months.
Sure.
And then other stuff is just like check out the Yomi content on the site. If you're looking for pickup games, the Sterling Games the Sterling Games Discord channel is really good. I've seen a couple of players, putting messages in the Yomi sub or whatever it's called, just saying like, hey, I'm online, I'm looking for matches. So that's a good way too. Yeah. So there's a ton of different ways you can do that. Honestly, if you're looking for somebody to play against and you see somebody online in the actual client, just send them a message, see if they're looking for some games. That's a good opportunity too. So I think there's a ton of different ways to get involved. I know it's a smaller community, but the nice thing about that is you can really establish yourself. Like there's characters in the cast that don't have specialists, right? And one of the fun things I felt as a newer player was just saying like, oh, there's this huge cast, but nobody plays X. So I'll play X and see how far I can go. And it's a really good way of building experience and kind of learning the game through this particular lens. And then later on you open up and, tired of you get mad at your character and you pick somebody else. And
then you lose and then you switch back.
Yeah, exactly.
You do really well in a bunch of tournaments when you decide you kind of gave up on the character and it brings you back. And then you're like, okay, play another tournament. You go 0-2 and you're just like, oh my God. Yeah, I understand. That's all the struggles that we go through in real fighting games, right?
Absolutely. Go through a character crisis, you main bourbon for a little while, and then, back up. You realize
you just want to, throw people with Potemkin, and you're good to go. At the end of the day, right? That's all we want. So any last words from you? Any shout-outs? Just go ahead. Mic's yours.
No, I think I've said pretty much enough. I want to give a huge shout-outs to sharpobject for finishing second against a really stacked tournament like playoffs cast. Shout outs to Fellow for kindly dropping guaranteed lethal against me in the semifinals so I could
I was never gonna bring it up. I was
I really appreciate it, dude. I wouldn't be here today. You made me what I am, so I really appreciate that. Thank you.
Yeah, this is a golden robot looking down at you from the clouds.
Yeah, that's right.
Just
kiss my fingers and hold it up to the sky.
You have like the most. I was gonna comment as well that you have like the most fellow-like Troc I've seen in a very long time. Never normal attack, play face cards a lot, get aces.
So it's like you were channeling his spirit or something.
Well, that's it depends a bit on the matchup because I actually think that we had a little bit of a disagreement. Like I love when Fellow gets to chatting like mid game because it like shows that he's comfortable and he's having a good time. And he was giving me some grief in Troc vs BBB about like playing 4s and 6s, 4s, 5s, and 6s.
Oh, dude, you 6-attacked me. I'm gonna punch you.
Well, if you play a 6 and he plays a 6, it clashes, so you're fine. You actually don't go to range at all.
That's right.
So I mean, they're good moves. Like they're
Troc has many good moves. This is a known thing about that character. All right.
Sure.
All right, man. I'm gonna let you decompress a little bit more, kind of bask in the gravity of what you've just accomplished.
Thank you.
You know, from one IYL dude to another. You know, congratulations, man. Undefeated. That's incredible. It's incredible.
Thank you very much.
I feel very fortunate to be able to be part of an interview with 2 Yomi League champions. So.
Yeah. Curse it. I only lost to one person. I lost to Raz, and then I bodied him. So it's all good. I got to run back.
All is forgiven.
When you make somebody as good as Raz, like hit their head on their desk, and say, "God damn it," feels good. It feels good. All right, man. GG's. Congratulations. See you in the next event. Hope I don't get you in first round.
Absolutely.
Or I hope I do. Hope I do. All right. Peace out,
don't. Cheers.
Laters. All right. That was a fantastic set of Yomi. Shout outs to Mad King for being on the mic right behind me, and being a part of the production. Thanks to everyone who watched. Thanks to everyone who played in IYL. Like we have IYL because of you guys, and we wouldn't have such big turnout, such long seasons, such awesome playoffs, and just incredible journeys, like Juicers here, if we didn't have a body of players with which to populate the server and do all this. So thanks to the whole Yomi community for showing up to events like Lucky Lum's Lottery, for Men's Tournament, for 19XX, for the new Lum's Long Odds. I didn't really see what that one is, but I'm going to check it out probably in a minute. But just everyone who continues to play this game. It's an old game. We haven't had a patch in years, and it's still holding up. It's still fantastic. So just, keep on playing Yomi, guys. Keep throwing down cards. If you're tired of cards, come play Fantasy Strike. Play your characters in real time. It's just as good. But I mean, that's all I got to say. What about you, Matt King?
Just excellent match to watch. I love casting matches. It's been way too long. I need to get back into this whole game of doing that.
You need to play more, man. You got to get back on here. We got to be terrorized by this rook since no one plays him anymore.
Apparently. I'll play Rook in my secret character, and every time I have a secret character, somehow it metamorphoses, and everyone plays the secret character and then loses. It's really weird.
Yeah, make sure that Rook beats the secret character that you're gonna play.
Yes, correct. I play the meta.
Yeah, I make the meta, I play the meta, I break the meta. That's the Mad King trifecta there. All right, guys, I'm gonna get going. Thanks for checking it out. I'll be uploading this to YouTube as soon as I can. Have a good one. Happy Yomi, and see you guys in the servers.